Hi, good evening. How are you? How are you feeling? So, I'm going to do a single crystal reading. And it's not just about the crystal, it's about the message, the relationship and translation between the earth and your human. That's what we're all about. So the way that nature translates how we're feeling on the inside, right? And this is what I'm here for, right? It's not just, you don't have to be into crystals to be able to understand the message. But if I mention a crystal, just ignore it. Listen to the message, right? I'm just able to connect with crystals. I have been since I was a child. My dad bought me, I'll just go into a little bit of a story of what, of my dad in this, because the crystal that I'm just about to talk about reminds me of my dad. So I'm going to bring the story of my dad in here. And it's a joyful story. It's not a bad story. It's not a sad, bad, I'm more of a black obsidian kind of girl. And the reason why I'm black obsidian, I love black obsidian, is like it reveals your shadows and all the little bits that you want to hide away from. But to me, like to not leave one stone unturned, it just feels so magical and freeing. Like I literally feel my body relax. I'm like, oh, finally I can just reveal how I'm really feeling and really thinking and not hide away, and shrink into this cycle of shame. So I love the black obsidian. It's always been my counterpart of, like just being truthful, mate, like why not? So today we're going to enter the feeling of joy. And I'm like, oh, great. Come and laugh at my face, why don't you? When I want to be in black obsidian, the bringer of joy comes along and, she wants to share her story. So my story with crystals is that, and it's important that you know, because like, I don't come from like a place of like, oh, she's just woo-woo and she's bringing, like, she doesn't have any, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's like, what is this rubbish? And this is so, like, what the hell? It's not really society, and like she doesn't have any scientific evidence, and she doesn't know what science is, and she doesn't know what the doctors say, and I'm more interested in making my life so it's much easier, so I have a Jaguar. No, mate, like, come on, let's get deeper and into the mysteries and where our lives originated from. There was societies way more advanced than what we were. Go fucking in Chat GPT and check it out. The ancient civilizations, they were way more advanced than what we are now. And they use crystals. You cannot use your phone without crystal technology. You hear me? Your brain has crystals. So let's introduce the ancients. Let's introduce what we are heading towards. And if you're not, bye-bye. See you later. Now, let's go back to the story. My dad wanted me to be a scientist as a kid. Like, let's go to that science topic. My dad wanted me to be a scientist, and he wanted me to be a doctor and all those kind of things. That would have brought him a lot of joy. So his first birthday present that I can remember that he gave me, because everybody else gave me dolls and like wanted me to be a good girl, get married, have kids. And look, I don't see that as a problem, but I wanted to be more than that. Like I didn't want to be just a thing or an object to look at and say that, oh, this is all this little piece of meat is good for, is to like make meal and cook for her man while he goes out and does intelligent things. And I'm not saying being a housewife isn't intelligent, but a woman has inner intelligence that she could create, right? I wanted to be known for the wisdom that I carried from lifetimes. I didn't want to just be like chopping onions and not having any meaning in my life, right? I wanted meaning. I wanted to really look at the mysteries of life and how things work and how nature fascinated the fuck out of me. I was out in the yard climbing trees. I didn't want to sit and mop floors and shit like that. Like, yes, I have to do that now because I got to live. But like, what next? What next? It's so boring just like mopping the floor and like doing housework. What is there? What else is there to look for? The meaning of life, the meaning of everything that makes this earth turn, and that gives us that place of where we are in relationship with each other, and the vulnerabilities and the difficulties and challenges and the happiness and the joy and everything. I just want to be in life to its fullest. I don't want to live just a mundane life. And that's what Peridot is actually about. So the first present my dad got me was a microscope, a scientific fucking toy microscope. I'm 57 now, and I was about 6 then. And I was like, oh my God, all my Christmases have come true. All my wishes. You know why? Because I could go grab all the stones out of the garden and have a look at what rocks look like under a microscope. And it was the biggest joy of my life. So this is why I went on a journey all my life of discovering what is it about crystals and rocks and things like that that are so, that interest me, that kind of like, and I discovered that they used crystals in temples, in healing, in, oh my gosh, not as like a separate tool to the self, but as part of us, as part of the natural world, that we can literally light up crystals, right? And I'll go into another story another time about how you do that. But for now, let's talk about Peridot. And that's one thing that brings me joy. And the passage that stands out the most for me when it comes to Peridot is, write a list of all the things that make you happy and spend some time knowing you deserve them. Only when we feel something, right? Feel something, can it enter our life. Thinking what we deserve or thinking we deserve something means nothing to the finding heart that creates your happiness. So you got to feel the joy. It's no good just like saying, oh, I'm going to think joyfully, that I know in my mind that, and in my consciousness, you know, when you start using words like consciousness and analytical words that pertain to the mind, you're not really in joy. It's when you feel it in your heart, you're in absolute awe. And that's what, as a child, brought me so much joy and awe, is looking at those goddamn crystals. So write down a list. And if you're not feeling your heart and it's numb, right, you may be angry at things. You maybe have a lot of anger and resentment and jealousy in you. And don't think of these emotions as being bad or negative, because if you're going to put another layer on top of a layer, another negative layer on top of a negative layer, you're not going to experience joy. You're just going to keep squashing that anger down, down, down. I did it myself, honestly. I thought my anger was like the worst thing I could ever have in my body. I was like, my mentor was like, oh, you have a lot of resentment. I said, what do you mean? You have a lot of anger. I said, what do you mean? I hardly ever get angry. I'm the good girl. I do all the good things. I behave myself. I'm a helpful person. I do everything for everybody. I'm not angry. How can I be angry? Yet I was avoiding my anger. So you just can't bury your anger as if it's like, you just can't. I'm sorry. You have to have some outlet to shake it off, to feel it, and then you get to experience joy in your heart. To brush off anger as if like, oh no, I'm not angry, for God's sake, that's just the rudest, the most lowest vibration. There's another piece of shit shaming. Oh, my anger is the lowest vibration. Shit shaming. I feel shit because it's the lowest vibration. Shit shaming. I'm going to call it shit shaming. So, yeah, feel the anger. Feel the fucking anger. Feel the anger coming from the solar plexus. Give yourself as long as you feel or necessary for the body to process that shit. Process that anger. You were angry for a reason. You got hurt as a child and you were told, get on with it. You were slapped across the face with a, like, oh, get over it. Or like, give that toy to the other kid. You should be sharing. You shouldn't be angry. Or like, everybody's stepping over your boundaries, personal boundaries. You were forced to go hug everybody and you didn't want to hug those people because they didn't feel right to you, but you were forced to go be lovey-dovey with everybody. Your boundaries were crossed. And then maybe, possibly, and I hope not, something bad happened to you. You were groomed. And, you know, your boundaries weren't respected as a child. Of course you're going to have anger and resentment. You didn't feel safe. So you're going to bury that anger to get on with it, to like, oh, okay, I'm upsetting my parent now. Do I have to upset them any further? No. So you do the opposite. You start appeasing them. You start pleasing them, you know, and you bury that anger. But it's going to come up later in life somehow when someone triggers you. And you know, a lot of people will go and like, oh, I'm going to blame someone else for that trigger, when in actual fact the trigger's been sitting inside you, laying rampant and not rampant, dormant for a long time, and the universe is just going to reflect it back to you, right? It's going to give you a mirror of like, oh, universe, like when you start asking for healing, the universe is just going to give you what is being reflected within you. And I don't mean that like, I don't mean that victims shouldn't have a voice, and I don't mean that victims should blame themselves either and punish themselves for like, oh, this person triggered me. I'm going to go into this place of like, oh, I must have created that. No, you didn't create it. Your beliefs didn't create it. Someone else told you how it was, right? That someone told you a lie about yourself, right? So just feel the anger. Like just go down, deep down and feel the anger, and then you can experience the joy in your heart, right? But don't go around trying to change everybody else either, because like you're in a space of joy and you're feeling absolute awe and joy, and then you go and try and grab a person who's totally deeply depressed because they've been for whatever reason, and you're going to go grab their shirt and go, I'm feeling joy, and then you have to feel joy too. Can you come join me and play with me in my joy? When that person is absolutely hurting and in pain and absolutely depressed, no, don't be so arrogant, motherfucker. Leave that person alone. If they want to come to you for help, they'll come to you. You don't have to be like a big bubble of like bouncing rainbow ball and then expect everybody else to be happy with you. be in joy, but don't go around telling everybody else they have to be in joy as well. Like, this is just a card that came out tonight. And I'm talking about it in all its aspects because my poor daddy, he is a descendant of the Essenes, which is where this crystal originated from. And so they found the elixir of the fountain of life, like in the middle of the desert where the Dead Sea Scrolls were hidden is Christ's real story. And that is with the Essenes. Go do your research on the Essenes. They are an amazing group of people. The Dead Sea Scrolls, a lot of secrets in there. I wonder if anyone is willing to learn about the Dead Sea Scrolls better than the Bible, what they left out from the Bible. There's some secrets there.